Good day, Mike, and welcome back to the... welcome back to the show, everybody. You know what I'm saying? We here at Team GRF TV want to take some time to thank our Australian family, you know what I'm saying? Because this is not a nice, because I don't have one to show you. Something about a game called Mad City, but that's something else. You may also know that game is Bayou Billy. Actually, that has a lot to really do with this, and I didn't even realize that I was making that joke trying to be funny, but whatever happened to Paul Hogan, yo? Like, the last movie I remember Paul Hogan in is what? Yeah, he was in Free Willy. Yeah, he was the dude on the boat in Free Willy. Why we up here talking about Free Willy? But seriously though, about a week and a half ago, we got a leak from down under. We got a leak from down under that said Konami was coming out with an anniversary collection. And when I saw that, I'm kind of like, yeah, well, I'll just wait until y'all announce something officially. And then I'm sitting up here thinking about, Castlevania Requiem, and like, well, the last time you guys were trusted to do something, you ripped a PSP game and brought us unlockables and sold it to people for $20, which I still think is stupid. Because honestly, legitimately, for real, is that I'm like, for months now, I have been sitting up here questioning, even after I made the video, of wondering why was the Dracula X Chronicles like split up like that in a way that eliminates the PSP game that I know everybody don't agree with what that game did, but then put the two other games you can unlock within it without having that game originally. But I guess at the same time, your selling point is if I want to play PC Engine Rondo of Blood, all I have to do is click a button. If I want to play Symphony of the Night, the remix version with the new cast and all I have to do is press a button. Still can't play the Sega Saturn version on anything, but we're going to take care of that live at some point here on the channel. This is a lot of segues into stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, like we segue, we didn't talk about Australia. Good day, mate. Hey, you know what? While we talking about Australia, shout out to my boy Victy Root. Y'all probably know what it is. Streets of Rage 3. Keep up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that game that I ultimately found respectful for what it was that it tried to do. You know what I'm saying? The Streets of Rage Trilogy Project, live right here on Team DRF TV and on demand. You can watch that whole series on demand. It took us 6 years to finish 3 video games, but you can watch that shit on demand, okay? You can do that live. Look at it. Okay? You know what? They just dropped the news last night about what these collections are, and I've had a little minute to sit up here and think and try to figure out like what it is that I'm looking for. Looking for in the 3 collections that they've announced so far and what they can do in the future. And I am ready to discuss all of that with you. Yeah, seriously, I'm ready to discuss all that with you. Google motherfucking Chrome, where you at, baby? Hey, yo, I'm in the top right of your screen now. This is Google motherfucking Chrome. So, internet. Let's talk about some video games. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about some video games. You feel me? Look, you can play Konami's all-time classic on your favorite platform. See, is the PS Quadruple your favorite platform? Do you love the Xbone? Do you love, Steam DRM and the Nintendo Switch? The thing that everything comes out on now because it's the Nintendo Switch. But hey, what you want to do? Dive back into action. In celebration with the 50th anniversary since Konami was founded, this anniversary collection series highlights many of the iconic arcade games and classic console titles that have been loved by fans throughout the years and are made available on many of the latest platforms. From shooters to actions, these collections are packed with beloved titles that are simple to play yet addicting to the core. Konami welcomes everyone, from those who were glued to their CRTs or the arcade machines back. I can't even read. Konami welcomes everyone, from those who were glued to their CRT TVs or the arcade machines back in the day to first-time players to look to enjoy a part of our history. All collections will be digital exclusive and can be downloaded from the various online stores. We give our utmost gratitude to each and every fan from all over the world for playing our games throughout the years. Okay, bell number 1. I can't buy this physically. That's kind of a problem for me, but, you grin and bear it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll collect all of these. Like I'm waiting for one day for them to collect all them hamster joints for real. Like collect all those hamster joints, or at least like the Neo Geo games, and put them on a CD and add all those, games that Hamster made. Like they made other games. I'm like, we'll talk about that another time. Well, actually, you know what? Let's talk about it right now because I want to get my story straight. Before Hamster got into the arcade thing, they were releasing like shogi games and stuff for some reason. Like I don't really get that, you know what I'm saying? But they was making money off of it, and they had like easy ass achievements. Play the game once or twice, like open the help menu and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Really good for back in the day. Then once they stopped doing all the easy achievement stuff. But from what I hear, the emulation is really good on the various systems where these games come out on. So it is what it is with that. I was about to say something else. What was that thing I was about to say? The word Sudoku, because they also released a whole bunch of Sudoku games too. Like 6 of them on PS3. Like 6 different Sudoku games. You do what you can. But look, further down is we finna get to the main event. We have the arcade classics, we have the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, and we have the Contra Anniversary Collection. So I have these all pulled up in tabs. So let's take a look at the arcade classic collection. So Konami starts its 50th anniversary collection with this first installment of the anniversary collection series of these all-time classics. This collection includes 8 arcade masterpieces from the 80s, from Nemesis to Haunted Castle. Experience these Konami classics in all their retro glory, now enhanced with modern features. Okay. Haunted Castle, you could already play that on multiple systems thanks to Hamster. So I'm guessing that, they can sell the games or whatever. So I'm like, so that's my question now, because I didn't think of this till now. Actually, I kind of sort of got my answer. Even though you had what is the name of that damn company that I can't get, Game Mystics or whatever, releasing all like those updated SNK ports that had like online and all that stuff. They sit and coincide with the Hamster releases that do nothing but have a ROM, and maybe you can switch to another one. So I don't know what this is or how you can technically get around it, but I kind of like where we're going with this. You got Typhoon, aka Ajax. You have Nemesis, also known as Gradius. You should know that. Gradius 2, aka Vulcan Venture. Probably the best shmup of all time. And Salamander, because I take Salamander over Gradius all day. It's like you have your first. Yeah, I know y'all heard the story about R-Type. You can go watch that in the archives, but one of the most amazing things I ever seen was that Fire Dragon on NES, and I have loved Life Force / Salamander ever since then. Thundercross on here, Scramble, and Twin B. Now, looking at this, there are a couple of questions here. Number one, Gradius could hold down a whole collection by itself. So, I don't know what this ultimately means. That maybe Gradius, if they do have a collection, which Gradius deserves one, that you have a whole bunch of other games to pick from, because mainly we talking about Gradius 3, Gradius 5, and what? Gradius 3, Gradius 5, and Salamander 2. You know what I'm saying? It's like there are some other games in there, but everybody deserves an opportunity to do nothing else than to play what Treasure thinks Gradius should be in Gradius 5. That's some of the best time I've had on the PS2. So being able to get to see a game like that enhanced, that would be nuts. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting my feels out there. Another thing that I'm kind of looking at is that, you don't have things like Time Pilot on here. So it's like, I wonder if you're going to come back with a round 2 that has those type of games. I'm like looking at these 3 collections. I'm like, just a spoiler, there is no Frogger in here. So unless Frogger's finna hold down his own thing or whatever, and you do that, I'm not really sure. My other thing is Twin B could hold down a collection all of his own, because Twin B has a whole lot of games, and including a remake of a Game Boy game that was released on the PSP, which would be nice to have, digitally, on a system that's currently hooked up. Or at the same time, I can go dig in a box and go find my copy of Twin B Portable and put it in a PSP and play it. So there's that. But given all of this is that, you have some of these games that you like, mainly Gradius, that can hold down a collection all of his own. And then it's like, my other question is that because I figured I might as well get into it now. What about the Rebirth series? Gradius Rebirth, Contra Rebirth, and Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth. What do you do with those games? It's like, I'm just wondering because those, like, if nothing else, those need to be in a collection. Those need to be in a collection for no other reason that, you can't buy those video games anymore at all. You can't. You can no longer buy any other Rebirth series anymore. You can still get your hands on it, winkety, 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 wink, but you can't legally buy those video games anymore. So hopefully those collections get around to a point to where they have those games available, and then just mix them in with what you got left and things like that, because you have these MSX versions, mainly when it comes to Nemesis, where the MSX versions are so very different from arcade ports and NES versions and things like that, where all of those things are part of the history of Konami. So to be able to see those, it is what it is. I'm like, oh, and also you get a bonus book. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happens if I click this button. I won't click it. Ooh, pretty. I like books. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, still waiting for a decently priced version of the Capcom Bell Action Collection that's not $300. But, didn't have any money, had to pay some bills, couldn't pre-order it, so that's my own fault. But I'm working on that. Alright, cool. Let's move on to the Contra Anniversary Collection. What the hell? We're spoiling things. Spoilers, bring it up. Alright. The originator of the run and gun genre, the Contra Anniversary Collection brings this classic run and gun franchise back to modern platforms and a new generation of gamers. Grab power-ups and blast your way through waves of menacing enemies and bosses that will put your gamer reaction skills to the test. Alone or with a friend, Contra provides hours of nail-biting action. In a pinch, make sure you know the code. Up, down, left, right, BA. Select if you're playing with two players and then press the start button. Technically, just for a fun fact, because I'm putting this out there, Contra was not the first game to use the Konami code. That was the NES version of Gradius. Just putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, Contra's famous for it. It's kind of the example, because, I'm finna show my smartness, that Jazz Toy Short Fears is a tribute to Kakuma, but Morgan did it 2 years before Akuma even had moved, so just put it out there. But anyway, let's take a look at what we got so far. We got the arcade version of Contra, Super C, and Contra 3, the Alien War so far, with some things that need to be filled in and a bonus book. So, if these series are gonna have 8 games apiece, what do you put there? It's like, depending on how they want, one of those answers should, of course, and I mean, of course, be Contra Hardcore. Contra Hardcore is a top 10 Sega Genesis game named any day of the week. That game is that good, right? I'm wondering why the regular version of Contra isn't available, but if they really wanted to get greasy and do some work that the internet has already done for you, you could put the Famicom Disk System version of Gryzo on here, which is an expanded version of Contra on the NES. So, if you cared about doing that, one of these answers should be Contra Shattered Soldier, because Contra Shattered Soldier is one of the best PS2 games on Name of Day of the Week, because Contra Shattered Soldier is that damn good. It's like Contra, after, when we got to the 32-bit era, kind of, Contra Shattered Soldier brought the game back. Contra Shattered Soldier brought the game back, and it's like, yo, if you ain't played Contra Shattered Soldier, you probably should. One of these answers, just because I would like the opportunity to play this on modern platforms, is Hardcore Uprising. I have no idea how that'll work, but being able to have Hardcore Uprising with all the DLC available would be dope for a collection like this. Or if nothing else, just release Hardcore Uprising on systems, because I buy it again. I own it on both PS3 and 360. So you tell me you want me to buy Hardcore Uprising a third time? The game's so damn good, I do it. And then, if you want to fill it, I don't know how else you could really fill in the rest of these blanks here, because you don't want, like, what is it? That's Foxhound, it's called. That's the NES game you know better as Contra Force, which isn't even a Contra game, but, is what it is with that. So, Let me see. So I didn't feel 3 of the 4 with what? Contra Hardcore, Shattered Soldier, and Hardcore Uprising. If Rebirth is an option, I probably would, because Rebirth as a short form remix of what Contra is best at. That's the game that can really show you like what Contra is, and given that's what the Rebirth series was. But if we eliminated that off the table, let me see. I'm like, the reason I didn't open my mouth and immediately say Contra 4, because how in the hell would you make that work? Like, if they wanted to get dumb, they could release that Chinese arcade version of Contra, which was based off a mobile game, which now they have another mobile game. So, I don't know, but you know what? Note to self. Play that Contra arcade game. I've been planning to do that for years, but now Janine can handle it. Betsy couldn't quite, but Janine can handle it. So that's one of my goals today. I'm going to work with see if I can stream me playing that game, because that is a good version of Contra. Like, that is a wonderful version of Contra with a lot of stuff to offer. So being able to have that available in a way that it wasn't available other than sitting up here spending money on a cell phone or downloading it from the internet and technically stealing it, it's whatever. If Game Boy games are an option, Operation C. I had some fun times when I was littler playing Operation C on a Game Boy, so I don't even know if Game Boy games will actually, you know what? I'm like, I do. We're going to see a Game Boy game on our next stream. Spoiler alert for what that Game Boy game is. It's one of my favorite Game Boy games, and being Castlevania. What's the rest of the title? Oh, let me think about that. Castlevania The Adventure. Like, it ain't the best Castlevania game in the world, but I love it dearly. So, Game Boy games are possible. I haven't seen a Sega Genesis game. Contra Hardcore needs to be one of these 8 video games. If I don't get nothing else, Contra Hardcore needs to be on this list. Now, given what that might be, you are hard pressed and better found on the internet to find hacks for video games like that. Mainly when we're talking about Gryzor and when we're talking about Contra Hardcore, but Hardcore Uprising, like Contra Hardcore Uprising. It's like, depending on how they want to do it. Like, I would love to see Operation Seed, but that just kind of depends on how they want to handle emulation. Contra Shattered Soldier and Contra Rebirth and Hardcore Uprising. So 5 of those games fit 4 of those in a slot. Okay? And then the one that you don't, put that in the additional category. More likely that would probably be Contra Rebirth. Contra Rebirth probably won't make a collection like this, but I would love for them to re-release it on modern consoles, because you can't buy the video game anymore. And I know I said that once, but it bears repeating that, about a month and a half ago, you stopped being able to own that video game in real life. So it is what it is. The best version was the PAL version, because you could do some dirt with that. You could unlock invincibility and stuff like that you couldn't normally. I don't know if Ocarina Code got so crazy where you could activate debug mode in the Japanese or the US version. I don't know. I probably should have took a look at that, but I didn't know I was going to get that far, and you can't do that with that. Cool. Alrighty. Castlevania Anniversary Collection. Look at that. Simon Belmont, look at that Dracula, man. Those memories, though. Classics that define the Castlevania series. The first Konami Castlevania. Okay. Alright. The first one. Number 1. Numero uno. Which means there's going to be more than one. The first Konami Castlevania collection is designed to be a complete collection around the origins of the historic franchise. Included is a unique ebook that has details provided by developers, artists, and others inspired by the Castlevania legacy. Released as part of the Konami 50th anniversary celebration, now is the best time to relive these timeless classics that help define a genre. So, we got Castlevania, we got Dracula's Curse, we got Belmont's Revenge, and Super Castlevania 4. Now, to go back off what I said earlier, weirdly enough, in the video, because I didn't look at this portion, the video that's playing in the background, do you know what that is? Belmont's Revenge, now that I think about it, because the HUD is down here and Castlevania the Adventures HUD is up there. So it kind of surprises me that I sat up here and thought that, yep, that is Belmont's Revenge and not. So, Game Boy games are still a play for this. So, we're skipping Simon's Quest. We got Castlevania 4. Are they actually going to do the legitimate work of doing something with the Famicom version because it sounds better, or having a way to switch between things like M2 do when they put in work? You have 50 different versions of Castlevania depending on what you want to do. So, it's a lot that you could fit here in this, right? So, Rondo of Blood is off the table here. Rondo of Blood is off the table because you own it. Well, it wouldn't be the first time a company was like, yo, we'll re-release this, because they could easily put Rondo of Blood on her because it's not available on any other current system right now. So, if they wanted to, because if they stick into anything before Symphony, then what? Let's see. You could put Simon's Quest on her if you so choose. But you would think that if they chose Simon's Quest, that it would be on her. Let me see. That's Castlevania Legacy, right? That's the one with Sonya, where Igarashi retconned that poor woman out of existence because there's no way she could have a vampire's baby, and there's no way that we could start that our first technical Belmont is a vampire hunter vampire hybrid. So, Castlevania Legacy is what it is. A great game, though. But a lot of confusion. So, yeah, put that in there, too, because you have to fill slots with game before Castlevania, and you don't have Rondo. Of course, Bloodlines. Why not? Of course, Bloodlines. I'm like, yo, some of the best music in the series coming out of a Sega Genesis. So we filled, 2 of those slots. Let's see. If they want to do something, again, even though that's what I thought, if they want to do something with Castlevania The Adventure, it's like, I wonder, are Castlevania The Adventure and Belmont Revenge going to be the colorized versions from those Game Boy collections? That would make sense, or to have a way to switch back and forth between them. The answer you're looking for is not Dracula X, because no way. No one wants to play that. Rondo of Blood exists. Why would you want to do Dracula X for it? I don't know why you want to. No, I'm like, look, I will tell you a secret about me. I used to think Dracula X on Super Nintendo was a great game, until I discovered that a better version of it exists. And it's a game that I appreciate, but it is some design choices in there and limitations, because we're talking about the Super Nintendo versus the PC engine and what you can and cannot do. And the game tries. The game tries very much to do what it can, but there are just some things about Dracula X on Super Nintendo that I just completely disagree with. Especially the final boss and him fighting you over a pit and him one hit boom, and it's just like, no. I beat that game once, did everything to it, and I don't really visit it anymore because I'd much rather play Rondo of Blood. So, where we are right now, Castlevania Legacy, Simon's Quest, Rondo of Blood, and Bloodlines. That's how you fill out. That's how you fill out those bottom 4. That's the most sensible thing. Again, I'm sitting up here like, I would love to see Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth, but I think that's going to be in a separate collection. That's going to be in a separate collection entirely. So that also makes me wonder if you're going to sit up here and gather your Metal Gears on MSXs, your Nemesises, and put those in a thing. I'm like, yo, Metal Gear Solid on GBA was like, not on Game Boy Color. I'm like, that was a throwback. I'm like, I don't know if they are going to, do something with Metal Gear Solid, but Metal Gear on NES is not aged well. There are hacks that alleviate the dumbness that is Metal Gear, and you should probably experience those games that way. But in releasing them in this way, there's no way you're going to be switching between key cards and stuff. And we talk about a Metal Gear collection hypothetically at this juncture, but, it is what it is. So, again, right now, Simon's Quest, Castlevania Legacy, Castlevania Bloodlines, and what else did I say? Yeah, what? Yeah, Simon's Quest, Castlevania Bloodlines, Castlevania Legacy, and yeah. So okay, okay. I'm sitting there having this conversation with y'all, and I forgot the hell I said. Let me run that back one more time. Castlevania Bloodlines. Yes, get a Sega Genesis in there, just like the Contra version of this needs Contra Hardcore. Castlevania Legacy, for no other reason than, I don't know, people get to play Castlevania Legacy. It's a decent Castlevania game, and that's all you can really ask for it. And yes, it's been technically retconned by someone who's working on a better Symphony of the Night, but hey, what you want from me? What else did I say? Simon's Quest. That kind of depends on, and I'm thinking about it now as I'm trying to rerun this in my head of, do you? Because if they wanted to, they would have. So there's that. And then, what's left? If we're looking at... So, again, I don't want to see Dracula X. Rondo of Blood, that's the only way you can go with this, but I kind of feel like that just kind of depends on what system you get it on. It's redundant if you get it on PS4, but great if you get it on everywhere else. So, Rondo of Blood is a lock. It's like, I really think that, they probably don't want to piss off PS4 on this by saying that Rondo Blood is going to be part of a collection that right now, if you have PS Plus, is on sale for $10, which is probably what that game should have came out as in the first place. Because given all that ports, given both those ports problems, and the Dracula X remake being ripped out, and the Rondo Blood remake being ripped out of it and then resold to you without it, not worth $20, definitely worth $10 though. You know what I'm saying? $5 a piece for two of the best video games in existence. Not bad. So, Rondo of Blood, Castlevania Bloodlines, Castlevania Legacy, and damn, how do I keep forgetting? And Simon's Quest. Yeah. So now, unless the reason they chosen these are because they're just straight Castlevania action, and that Simon Quest is gonna be in another collection along with other games, which hopefully one of those includes Twin B RPG and also Twin B Rainbow Bell Adventures and stuff like that. This has been interesting. I'm tripping. Let me bring it back to me because, yeah, I just faded back. I was going to do a magical little fade back. Now I just clicked the button. Look, I have other questions about this collection at this time. Like, where's Parodius? Yeah, where's Parodius, bro? Need that. Gotta have that. Gotta have it happen. I'm surprised that a Gradius version of this wasn't announced in the first place. But if you're trying to get somebody excited, you give them some arcade games, you give them your Contra, you give them your Castlevania, and then you have fools like me on the internet trying to figure it out. So, again, to run down what it is that I want from Contra, just so we can say it: Contra Hardcore, Contra Shadow Soldier, Hardcore Uprising, and Operation C. I'm like, if they want to do Grazor and translate it and take the time to do that, I think that would be a better look than just releasing NES Contra, because that would be semi-lazy. Just me. But I've always heard for years there was a reason why Contra never came out on the NES, on the NES Virtual Console and things like that. But you know, things change. When it comes to the Castlevania side of things, Rondo of Blood, if that's what they're ultimately going to do. Castlevania Legacy, because you forget that game exists. Castlevania Bloodlines, because you need a Sega Genesis game. And what else did I say? Damn. This is... I was sitting there for 10 minutes and trying to figure out, because what did I say? I said what? Bloodlines, Legacy, Rondo of Blood, and what else? Damn. Wow. Somebody go get in the comments, show Triple, that's what you said. And it's like, man, it's early in the morning. I don't know. Okay. What were those Castlevania games again? Rondo, Legacy, Bloodlines, and what else? Straight Castlevania game. Probably Castlevania The Adventure, Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth. I know I said something else, but I'm blanking, and I shouldn't be. Like, because I tried to think about it, like, I tried to think about those games without Rondo being there. But yeah, so probably, because it's like, where else do you really get Castlevania? Because I think it's going to probably be a whole nother collection for the symphonies and the Circle of Moons and the Shinoa is Waifu game, and also 2 games starring New Dracula, but you know, spoilers, but that's not a spoiler, they tell you that at the beginning of the damn game. I want to play Castlevania Judgment. Don't ask me why, and do not judge me for wanting to play Castlevania Judgment. Also located in the archives, a whole bunch of Castlevania footage, Castlevania Judgment. So yeah, Rondo of Blood, Castlevania Bloodlines, Castlevania Legacy, and Castlevania The Adventure. Because... Oh, Simon's Quest, that's what I meant. Because I threw that one out because thinking that they might put that in a separate collection with other things. So, you got 5 good choices. If anything, Legacy probably not going to make it. Probably if I had the money, in that list, Castlevania Legacy would be the game on that list that do not make it. Even over a Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth, even though it has a sequel in there. And that sequel got all Mega Man-y. And then Legacy was more of that. Because Belmont's Revenge is that you sit up here, you go to each of the castles one at a time. It's a crystal castle, and then there's a dark castle, and then there's a crack castle, and then there's the dirty sprite castle, and then you beat all of those, and then it's time to boot drag ass. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the game works. I really want to see the Rebirth series. I really want to see a full blown out Parodius joint. Like, it's so much Parodius, it's crazy. So getting a lot of that Parodius would be nice. A full Gradius collection. Like, I need that. I need that. It needs to be a whole bunch of Gradiuses full of salamanders. Get your MSX collection, your Metal Gear. Maybe. Because this is still a rumor I heard back in the day. That there was a Metal Gear Solid Rebirth that was damn near finished, but then they said, nah. So if that's like legitimately like sitting around with somebody's computer somewhere, like I would love to play that. I would love to play a Metal Gear Solid Rebirth. But then you get really into Metal Gear Solid, which you can play on a lot of systems, but you can't play them on others. So a Metal Gear Solid collection would be dope. You know what I'm saying? But you know the weirdness behind it, and I probably need to go buy a $5 copy of Metal Gear Survive and actually play it and not judge it because it's not this thing that I like. Because that time when Metal Gear Survive was a thing that was weird. Randomly, I just thought about Operation Raccoon City. Do not ask. It would be dope if Capcom would re-release those games in some way and have all the internet stuff back, but that's just me. That's just me. I just figured I'd put that out there. You know what I mean? You know Capcom and Konami, Mimi are the same company or whatever? No. Seriously, though. This is a great thing to know that it's around because of, right? just because that it is what it is. It's great to see Konami wanting to do some things. It's like it'll be wonderful to see other things. Like, remember that you own Bomberman and maybe a way to play Bomber Girl. I'm like, I've watched gameplay footage of Bomber Girl, still don't understand what it is. But it'd be nice to play it. You know what I'm saying? Like, put a whole bunch of patchy slots on a disc. They used to do that in they used to do that. Like, that stopped around the PS3 era, where they used to make patchy slot simulation games. Let me simulate a whole bunch of Konami patchy slot games. I would maybe pay money for that because they don't have those in casinos. The only thing I've ever seen in a casino, I've seen a House of the Dead machine once. When I was at the casino with my people, I seen a House of the Dead machine. So, it is what it is with that. And I'm like, given what this could be, don't expect Nano Breaker. Don't know why I'm sitting up here thinking about Nano Breaker. Well, the reason I'm thinking about Nano Breaker is because here's a spoiler alert for something that we should be playing in the future. Crimson Tears. It's been a long time since I have played my copy of Crimson Tears, and I've been thinking about playing it lately. Do not ask me why. And also, I've been thinking about like playing a whole bunch of stuff, and like I've been thinking about Crimson Tears and Spy Fiction. I don't know why for either. But speaking of, when it comes to Spy Fiction, shout out to Swery, putting in the work. Need to get an Xbox One. Need to get a Kinect that works with it, so we can play D4D. You know what I'm saying? So our dreams must die, baby. Is what it is. Look, we've got more show for you. Let me know in the comments what you want to see from Konami Collections. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Like, I wonder, are the Castlevania Chronicles versions going to be available? Like, if you play original Castlevania, you can play the MSX version, things like that. Like, things that they could do with these collections if they really want to branch out, or if this just going to be, man, we just slapping some ROMs in a package or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm going to say this because it's on my mind. I have never seen better implementation and presentation of old video games than Final Fight Double Impact. And no game has yet matched that. You've had companies release these collections and things like that. The only thing that I really think really come close is the Sega Genesis collections on Steam, where they have like the room you can decorate and you can do all that type of stuff. But I haven't found anything presentation-wise that is smashing Double Impact. And I want somebody to argue me and tell me that something's come out to show me different. I'm like, when I think about like other collections and stuff that, just saying which will come back, the Marvel or the Marvel Capcom Origin collection, we got a thing where you can see above your shoulder. I'm like, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And other things about Japanese versions of Chronicles of Mystara, but that's another thing entirely. Still trying to get me a copy of that, the limited edition joint. I can tell you a story about how somebody had it new for $200, and I was sitting up here waiting to get paid. Got paid that morning, went downstairs on eBay to buy. It sold while you slept, and I'm just like, I was not happy, man. Still not. But we gonna get it together. Look. We have got more show for you. We got some other stuff we got to cover. I'm glad I took some time out to really talk about this, to really figure it out. So, for the record, before we get up out of here, before I wink and gun you out of here so we can handle more show, when it comes to the Contra collection, Contra Hardcore, Contra Shattered Soldier, Hardcore Uprising, either the NES version of original Contra, or technically Grazor, which I would appreciate, or Operation C, since we know Game Boy games are legit. When it comes to the Castlevania collection, hopefully a version of Castlevania Legacy, or Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth, because the original Castlevania Adventure, as much as I love it, it's a hard game to revisit because of what that game is in it, but I love it to death. Rondo of Blood, because that's probably gonna be on there, and Castlevania Bloodlines. Yeah. So, if nothing else on that list, I want on on that Castlevania list, I want to see Bloodlines on there. I want to see Bloodlines. I do not want to see Dracula. I do not want to see that video game. That's a waste of ROM space. It's like, it's a bonus game you can play, you know, fake Rondo of Blood. It's like, okay, but no, totally not. But yeah, I'm like, I got some hopes for this. Like, maybe they'll re-release Bloody Roar or something. I doubt this, but you know, like, we're trying. Oh, I need note to self. Finish watching Killing Bites on Amazon. Yeah. I recently found out that the Killing Bites game that was supposed to be the future of Bloody Roar got canceled like a year and a half ago, and I didn't even know. So, here's what it is. But look, we have got more show for you, so please, sit back, relax, and stay tuned. I'm, of course, the one and the only triple to G.O.D. We're live right here on Team JRF TV. Got the squadron with me. Got Betty Janice on the Uno, Dos, Tres, and Quattros. Please throw your dubs up. Please stay winning. Wink, bang. More show right after these commercial messages. If I don't get a Parodies collection, I'm going to riot, and it's not going to be pretty. Okay? I need more Salamander. Everyone does. Like, can we release SX on something? Like, I'm just putting it out there for a buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. One day, somebody, whoever owns the rights to R-Type Leo, and this is completely like adjacent of nothing, that I'll actually be able to play R-Type Leo on something. Yes. R-Type Leo, production, however you want. I just want to play R-Type Leo legally. Just put it out there. You know, so check in on M2. See what's up with that ninja shooter game that we talked about. Yeah, more shmup game proper. More shmup game proper coming soon. Sooner than you think. More show after these commercials.